Coach, a split on the road against Miami, and you take 3 out of 4 of them from the season, and you can't really go away feeling that bad, especially the way you dominated on Saturday, just not on the scoreboard.
Well, we know that every time we go to Miami, they're going to be intense games. We need to be ready to play. They come out strong. Coach Blasey does a great job, as we know, with their program, and they're young this year like we are, but they've continued to get better. Really liked our start to the game on Friday night. I thought it set the weekend off on the right foot. We were assertive. We were engaged physically. We used our speed and had a great first period. And I thought that set up the play for the whole weekend. I thought we played 6 periods of quality hockey. Obviously won the first game. Second game did not score in some of the opportunities we had. I thought they did a great job on their power play. They made a couple of subtle changes and got a couple of power play goals in that first period. And then we got caught out of position a couple times in the second, although I liked our overall game. A couple of mistakes cost us. And then we pushed real hard in the third period. I think we generated 17 shots and about 10 quality scoring chances. So their goaltender, Larkin, was outstanding. Key part of their team, and obviously sets their team up well for the future as well. So disappointed, but like the way that we played, and know that if we continue to sustain that kind of offensive pressure and play in the offensive zone, we're going in the right direction.
And I know briefly in the locker room after the game on Saturday, you touched on the series this week with Arizona State, and how they may not be an overly talented team, but they're a really tough team to beat. And then we get on the bus and see that they beat a really good Quinnipiac team 4-2 on Saturday night.
Well, I would leave that comment, they're not an overly talented team, to you. In the dressing room there, I indicated to our team, and I wanted to do it right after the game. Certainly we talked about our effort in the game at Miami, the second one. Talked about the fact that maybe in the last 10 minutes we didn't exert the kind of pressure we needed to. We handled the puck too much individually. And then right away we wanted to touch on this weekend series with Arizona State, so that our players could immediately shift their focus to the series coming up. And we posted all of Arizona State's wins on our board here this morning in the dressing room. They've beaten some quality teams. You mentioned Quinnipiac, National Final Four team last year. A quality program. Obviously, they've had wins against Colgate. They beat UMass twice. They beat UNH, and they're playing a tough schedule as most of their games are on the road. I look at their team. They're big. And they've got some skill. They've got a number of NHL draft picks in their lineup as well. And, they're young and enthusiastic, and they're going to play us hard. We've watched them play some other games. Watched a couple of games already on tape with them, and they're going to be a formidable opponent for us. And we need to make sure we're ready to play our best hockey, because that's what it's going to take.
Coach, not to dwell too much on this past weekend, but what do you think the difference was between the way you guys came out in the game on Friday night as opposed to the way you guys came out on Saturday, and then came out and had that quick lead after first couple periods there?
Well, I think the biggest difference is we scored on Friday night as opposed to Saturday. I liked our start on Saturday as well. A little difficult when you get a penalty called on you in the first minute and 10 seconds, and they score on the power play right away. But, right after that, we went right back at them. Cole Conrad scored a big goal, and then we dominated the rest of that first period, and then they got a very important goal for them at the end of the first, a power play goal, which was big. And I give them credit. I mean, their power play, they scored on 2 of the 3 opportunities they had. That's a good sign for them. It means our penalty killing also needs to be better. But I liked our effort both nights. I have to say we sustained pressure. We created offensive chances. We spent a lot of time from the red line in so that, they couldn't create as much pressure in our zone because their players were so tired from defending. And we've been in that building and have been on the reverse side of that, where we couldn't get it out, got it to the red line, and our guys were looking to change rather than think about attacking. And, that's the essence of the game of hockey, is you need to spend the first 20, 25 seconds of every shift in the offensive zone. If it starts in yours, get it out as quick as you can and play in their zone. You want the other team to be so tired by the time they get the puck to the red line that they're thinking about changing, not attacking.
You touched on, obviously, the upcoming series against Arizona State. What do you think are going to be the keys to coming away with 2 wins this weekend? What do you guys have to do? What do you guys have to do well in order to go in there and come away with 2 wins?
Well, I think when you're playing the team as talented as Arizona State is, with some of the young skill they have, first and foremost, we need to play a strong team game. It's not a game where individuals are going to look at it and want to play that individual game. We got to play collectively strong. We got to buy in. We got to make sure that we're attacking, getting pucks in behind their defense, just as their coaches are talking right now to them. I'm sure in their press conference or in their team meeting right now, they're talking about playing in our zone, getting pucks in behind us and forechecking us. So we need to be the forecheckers, not the ones being forechecked. We need to use our speed to advantage, and we need to be really disciplined with our shift length. I mean, against this team, if we're playing tired on the ice, we're asking for bad things to happen. So we got to be fresh physically and mentally, get quick, aggressive changes, and make sure that we're winning the change game first and foremost.
Coach, we have Aiden Muir coming up here in a couple minutes, and he went through one of those fluke injuries that happen from time to time in ice hockey, and he was out 11 weeks. What expectations did you have, if any, for him going into the weekend, and did he meet those?
First, we have to say we did not believe that Aiden would play again this year, so credit to him, credit to David in terms of our athletic therapy and treatment. He's done a great job with him. Brian Bauer, all of our medical staff have really helped Aiden, and he's worked extremely hard to get himself into a position with therapy where he could play this year, which was a surprise to everybody when we found out 10 days ago that he was going to be cleared and could play. I thought he played very, very well. For getting back in to his first games after a 2-month hiatus from the game, we thought he played well. He was skating well. He protected the puck well. He generated 6 scoring chances in the game on Saturday night. So we were real pleased with Aiden. And, he's been a different player this year. He enjoyed some success as a freshman. His sophomore year, by his own admittance, was not at the level he wanted to have it. I think he changed his focus. We made some adjustments in the way that we handled our off-season training. I think the combination has resulted in a player that feels a lot better about his game. And, we're a better team when Aiden Muir's in our lineup. Better ask one.
Okay, sure. Kind of more so, I guess this is different. I mean, what is, you're welcoming ASU, Arizona, hockey, not as big there, but I mean, what does that mean just for the game of hockey that, it's on the West Coast and that it's growing in places where it seems different to not grow?
Well, I spent a long time coaching in Los Angeles, about as far west as you can get, so I have certainly an affiliation with hockey in the West Coast of the United States. You just have to look at recruiting right now. The guy that's going to win the Rookie of the Year, and he maybe could win the most valuable player in the National Hockey League this year, Austin Matthews, comes right from Phoenix. So I think it's a natural move from them. We understand that tickets are sounding very well. This is Arizona State coming in here. We're talking about the athletic powers here in the United States in all sports, and their hockey program has been in existence for a few years at the club level, and now 2 at the varsity, and they've got some good players. So we're excited about playing them. Our players really are, and we're obviously hoping to get invited back to play out there sometime too. I think our players would enjoy that, but we're excited about playing Arizona State. I think our fans are too. It's a new team coming in, seeing that Sun Devils emblem on their jersey. That's going to be pretty special.
Yeah, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.